Have you ever played Mörk Borg and been like, I wish this had more of a Wild West feel to it? Well, now you can. We're going to talk a little bit about Frontier Scum. This is an RPG that's kind of a Mörk Borg rule set kind of system, published by Den of Druids and created by Carl Druid. Stick around, saddle up, and we're going to take a look through it. Hey everyone, welcome to Victory Condition Gaming. My name is Doug. Today on the show we're going to be talking about Frontier Scum by Carl Druid. This was a game that was pretty highly talked about from the Stockholm Cartel guys at Gen Con. They had gotten invited to an actual play of this game by Carl Druid, and they came back after the actual play and were just saying some really great things about it and how it kind of felt along the same lines of the content that they put out. And once I found that you could pick up copies, physical copies, from Exalted Funeral, I immediately placed an order, and I thought I'd just kind of go through it and show you all what it's about, and maybe you'd like to pick up a copy as well. Let me know in the comments if you did, or if you already have a copy of this. I was really intrigued when I heard about it, and then once I saw it online, I knew I had to pick up a copy for my collection. I'll remind folks that if you like this type of content and you like seeing reviews and all this kind of stuff, hit that like button down below. That lets me know that you'd like to see more content. If you are coming across our channel for the first time, please hit that subscribe button. We'd love to have you as part of our VCG community. We do all sorts of tabletop content, interviews, discussions, actual plays, reviews, you name it. We try to cover a lot of aspects of the tabletop industry, and we're really excited about all the very creative people making tabletop games. All right, without further ado, let's go to the table and take a look at Frontier Scum. All right, so this is Frontier Scum. It is pretty much this kind of the same form as Mörk Borg is, as far as size is concerned. It is right away, I'm going to tell you that this book is pretty rad, just on its own. Just getting it in hand is pretty awesome. Where, you know, Mörk Borg had kind of that art book kind of feel to it. This book feels like it belongs from the era that it's kind of going back to. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to show you just here why. So as you can see, the cover is like this thick cardboard. It's not like a typical kind of cover. I'll just show you the back real quick. That's the publisher logo, I believe. And yeah, it looks and feels like it's from the Wild West era, which is really kind of neat. The other thing that's really kind of neat about this, and I don't think I've ever seen this before in an RPG book, is the fact that it has an exposed spine. So this, I'll be honest with you, when I first saw this physical item online, this is the part that kind of worried me a little bit. I was like, how is the spine going to hold up? Seems to hold up pretty well. I definitely wouldn't want to put it in my backpack to kind of like, you know, make sure it gets, you know, shuffled around a whole lot, just because the spine is pretty exposed, and I don't think it's the most sturdy of spines out there, but it definitely sells that feel of what Carl Druid's going for with this game. The spine is pretty neat. It's pretty durable. Yeah, I just think it's kind of rad. You open it up, and as you can see right there, some great pages. You've got your table of contents. It's only 64 pages long, which is cool. And if you would like, you can go to frontierscum.com and you get your character sheets, your rules reference sheets, your third-party license, and there's some other content there as well. Right out of the gate, you've got pages of the setting. And I love the way this book is set up. It has like these cool like newspaper ads in them, which kind of go along with the setting and kind of add to the setting that's being talked about in the book. So basically these are different areas of the setting that Carl Druid has created. Of course, you can kind of just play it with whatever setting you want, if it's a Wild West, that kind of thing. So yeah, I just love how, you've got written, sections of the setting, and then in between, these sections are ads that just kind of add to the whole feel and the look of the book. So you go through there's quite a few different pages. You've got a map of the Lost Frontier. You've got a roll chart for your first name, nicknames, and last names. And then it gives you pretty much the setup of the game. You're going to have a game marshal, which is a GM, and then PCs or player characters. You're going to roll D4 minus D4 for 4 abilities. So the most you're going to have is +3, and then the least you're going to have is a -3. You got 4 attributes: grit, slick, wits, and luck. And then your maximum HP is D6 plus grit, and that's a minimum of 1. You're going to roll on a traits table, which is over here. And then you're going to roll on a wanted table, which is here, and you're going to roll a D4. 1 to 2 is dead or alive. 3, 4. 3 is dead, 4 is alive. And then you've got all these different crimes that you can be wanted for. I love the accidental grave robbing. Like, that's just, people accidentally do that all the time. I just think that there's certain combinations here that just set up for some very humorous backstories. Let's see here. You are going to roll and choose a background, which I will go right here. Let's take a look after this. You've got D12 of backgrounds. You've got Karish Trapper, Frostbite Prospector, Discharge Deputy, Butcher Cook, Charlatan and a Fraud, Gambler and a Cheat, just all sorts of different Drifter, all sorts of different backgrounds that you can play here. Let's see. You're going to roll a D6 twice, and you're going to get different skills and then different items. So you're going to do that for your skills and your starting items. You're going to roll D66 for bonus skill and a D66 for bonus item. So back here, you've got bonus skills that you're going to add to your character sheet, and then also bonus items that you're going to also add. And I love the fact that you can roll personal memento, and then he gives you options for that personal memento. So you'd roll a D66, and then if you got the 66, you'd roll a D20, D10, D4, D8 for some of these other options. So it not only just goes through this bonus items, but it also gives you even more items if you roll on certain ones. You also get a canteen with a day's worth of water, D10 silver for each ability below 0. You roll for a stolen horse. I think this is just so funny. So yeah, you can get a nag, donkey, mule, riding horse, draft horse, racehorse, and then it's got all sorts of different characteristics that you can roll for, and then you've got your riding checks as well. You're going to roll for a gun, which is page 22, and then there's a whole bunch of different options there. And then you're also going to roll for your hat. You're going to describe your hat. I'm sorry, and it may save your life. So basically, before rolling damage, you may lose your hat to block all damage from a single attack. When picking it back up, you check luck, so your luck to see if it survived. With this, I'll go over ability checks and everything here in just a moment. So you all also will roll, choose, and invent a name for yourself, which is this page right here. Ability checks are very similar to Mörk Borg in the fact that you're going to have difficulty ratings. You're going to roll a d12 plus the modifier for your attribute, and 6 is foolproof, 8 is straightforward, 10 could be harder, 12 is your standard difficulty rating, 14 is difficult, 16 is very difficult, 18 is almost impossible. So yeah, unless otherwise noted, the default difficulty rating is a 12. If you have advantage, you roll 2d20s, and then you take the highest, and for disadvantage, you roll 2 dice and then take the lowest. The thing that this game brings to the table are aces. This is kind of a new aspect of this system. You're going to spend an ace to reroll any dice that's not a natural 1 or a 20. You gain an ace at the start of every session, and if you roll a natural 20 on an ability check, you choose between learning a skill or gaining an ace. Now, here's the thing that I really like. Everyone immediately loses all their aces when any PC rolls a natural 1 on an ability check. So don't forget to use them. So that gives you a reason to use them as much as possible. So I really like that, because there's a good chance that someone might roll a 1 and everybody at the table loses those aces bonus, which is kind of neat. I like that a lot. You've got morale checks, you've got reactions. Of course, your NPCs don't roll most of the time, 99% of the time. You've got rest and conditions that if you take damage, you're going to need to rest and heal up. Same thing with conditions. And then they also go over what happens when you drop down to 0 or negative hit points. Then you've got a whole bunch of different hunting and foraging, fishing, and small game charts. You've got Scum in the Street, so this is going to give you charts to kind of create your own sessions on the fly as a GM, and even gives you a D20 roll, a chart for when you enter a saloon. Then you've got going on a bender, what was won, what was lost when you gamble, and what you owe. And then a large chunk, I think it's like 18 pages, is an adventure called Escape the Oregon Trail. And basically you're on a locomotive. I won't spoil it too much, but there's some great charts and some great things that you can go through here. Basically, you're going through train car after train car for this adventure, and then there's an epilogue for it as well. There's also charts to roll for odd jobs, opportunities, bounties, house loot, pocket loot, tomb loot, strange relics, and then at the back it just kind of gives you your overall quick rules reference sheets. And I kind of like what they did with Mörk Borg. And that's basically the book of Frontier Scum. Let's go back up and I'll give you my final thoughts. All right, so Frontier Scum. It's pretty cool. It definitely gives you that Mörk Borg feel, but takes it in a whole different setting, which I like. And instead of like having the end of the world happen, it's basically, whether or not you're going to survive and whether or not you're going to get caught after being wanted, dead or alive. So I love what Carl Druid did with this game. Definitely kind of gave that Mörk Borg kind of, system, and made it feel a little more like Wild West, kind of like how Death in Space kind of did the same thing with their setting. I love how creative people are getting with this Mörk Borg license, and I don't know how much I'll play Frontier Scum, but gosh darn it, I'm probably going to bring it to like a lot of conventions and play some one-offs just so that people can try it out. And I think that if you are a fan of Wild West type RPG, there's not that much for this type of setting out there. So I think this kind of fills a gap. The book is cool. The book is rad. I mean, I can't say that enough. I was thinking it was going to come in kind of flimsy. It's not all that flimsy, but some wear and tear might take it down pretty easily. But you know, as you're holding it, as you're reading through it, definitely sells. Definitely sells the setting and the game. So my overall review is pick it up. Even if you just pick it up in the PDF, it's going to be a lot of fun. And I know that there's a lot of games out there that I've spent a lot more on that probably don't nail the theme and everything like this game does. Let me know in the comments if you agree, because I think this is a game that kind of snuck under my radar, and I'm so glad that the Stockholm Cartel guys talked about it at Gen Con, because man, I would have been bummed if I had found this on my own and maybe it's like months or years down the road, because this is a super rad game. I can't wait to play this. If you'd like to see an actual play of this on the show, let me know in the comments. I think we can probably make that happen. All right, that's going to do it for this review. Again, if you like this review, please hit that like button down below. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. This has been Victory Condition Gaming, because winning shouldn't be the only victory condition when you get to the table. Hold on to your hats, folks, and go pick up Frontier Scum. Talk to you later. Bye. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you would be so kind, make sure you hit that like, comment, and subscribe, all the YouTube jazz that we're supposed to do here. It really is greatly appreciated. And if you'd like to support us more, you can check us out on Patreon. Just go to patreon.com/victoryconditiongaming. We have all sorts of Patreon perks, and it definitely helps support our show. Thank you so much.